Hello and welcome to another Necromundown. This week we're talking about wacky races.
Hey,
Remember wacky races?
is that still under copyright or is that?
Oh, it's Hanna-Barbera.
Oh,
sure
it's Hanna-Barbera. Yeah.
No, we're talking about the new apocrypha Necromunda, Wheels of Fury, which is the racing game we've all been waiting for.
Yeah. So basically, what it does is it takes your custom vehicles,
Yes,
and it turns it into a wacky races where you're shooting each other and trying to get to the end.
yes. So there's a lot of lore, which is delightful, by the way. If you don't normally read the lore, maybe read those because it's talking about how there's lots of different tracks. Like they build tracks in the Underhive.
That's pretty good.
And then like one of them's like a track through the Sump Sea.
Mm-hmm.
Like you would just like skid off the edge and go bloop and disappear. And then of course there's tracks in the Ash Wastes.
Mm-hmm.
But there are Underhive tracks as well.
That is pretty funny.
With like jumps and stuff like that. So let's talk about the rules, basically.
Yes.
So first off, the racer you use is a custom racer.
Mm-hmm.
And it does need to be a custom medium vehicle. It can't be...
Yeah, it can't be one of the GSC vehicles.
Right, it can't be the Ridge Runner.
Yep.
Although you can, if you want to, play a heavy vehicle, but a heavy vehicle is a custom rig vehicle from the Book of Desolation, not a custom heavy vehicle.
That is interesting that they describe light, a way to use light and medium as the default.
Right.
But heavy automatically goes to rig
Yes,
instead of
there's
being heavy.
Yeah. Yep, so if you want to do truck racing. So basically, if you do medium, it's 400 credits on a medium vehicle. If you do light, it's 250. If you do heavy, it is 600.
Mm-hmm.
You can choose any crew, which means you're going to choose Vansar. This is so dumb. Any crew can be chosen with the exception of the Corpse Grinder cults and the Guild of Coin and the Pal Knight Ranger. Basically, no cops, no cannibals, no bankers.
Sure. Bankers?
The three genders, cops, cannibals, and bankers.
Tag yourself.
Because, it's basically no people who don't know how to have fun.
Yeah.
And neither of those three people know how to have fun.
That's true.
Right? Because then the cannibals are always pulling over to, eat bodies. It's never...
A vehicle explodes and they're like, hang on.
But here's the problem. Most of the racers in Necromunda, the racing crews, are statistically identical in the ways that matter.
Yes.
Which is your ballistic skill.
And so the only skills that they have are ballistic and mental skills.
Right, and the mental skills don't really come up with a lot.
No, they don't.
And Vansar have a ballistic skill of 3 up.
Mm-hmm. Are they more expensive credits-wise? Would that be
there
a
were
reason?
5 more credits, right?
Would that be a reason to not do it?
No, remember we talked about this when the Vansar were released. It's absolutely not balanced.
But see, here's the thing. That was Vansar versus the generic.
Yes.
Because Vansar can only have those 2.
Right.
This is Vansar versus every other one.
Why would you not pick Vansar?
Flavor?
Why would you not pick it? Yeah, I mean, yes, in a Necromunda, that is something, right?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. If you are playing... First off, if you're playing this in a power gaming scenario, why? But
Take a look at yourself in the mirror.
if someone's going to pick a Vansar racer, they better make it all Vansar'd up, right?
Yeah.
Or just make everybody pick Hive Scum.
That's
Just have
true.
everyone pick a Scum racer.
Yeah.
And nothing changes, right? Just have everyone pick a Scum racer. Any vehicle upgrades up to and including rare 10 can be purchased during creation. You don't have to roll, thank goodness. And racers are usually crafted with loving care, so you ignore the jury-rigged rule, which is what makes them more expensive to repair.
Yes. Which is good.
Which, of course, only matters in campaigns, and you're like, wait, what does it have to do with this? Well, these races can be one-off.
Mm-hmm.
You can do a racing campaign, or you can even just do racing integrated into your normal campaign.
Yes. I love all of those things.
Yeah, all of these are really fun options. If you don't spend all your credits, you get a better priority for going first, which is all you get. And that's actually not that important or good.
Basically, it's just like if you can't find something for 5 credits or whatever, you get something.
Right.
It's not that bad.
So you build your racer. So here's the thing. Here's what you want to do. You want to build all the speed that you can, obviously. So you're probably going to ignore treads.
Yeah.
And you're going to put all the handling upgrades you can on here because there's a lot of handling checks.
Well, I'm not going to say you should probably ignore treads because you can get better advantage in difficult terrain.
This is true. Difficult terrain is a thing that can happen. There's this thing you can roll where the entire board becomes difficult terrain.
That does say including treads, though.
Yes, yeah, that's the problem. Hover skirts just ignore that. There is one of the conditions you can roll is there's basically a giant fan that blows everybody an inch, but blows hover vehicles an extra 3 inches.
Yeah. Because they're no friction.
Right. The track is a 4x2 table. So kind of like, it's basically like rolling roads. Except instead of, because on rolling roads, the entire road moves up, what, 6?
I think it's 8 inches.
8 inches, and you have to measure all the terrain.
And then, move everything back and blah, blah, blah.
Thank goodness they didn't do that here. And I actually really like that, because that would have been the lazy way.
Yes.
Instead, each track section is 4 foot long and then 2 feet wide, and you go from the short end to the short end. So you go down the 4 foot end, right?
Yes.
You always are traveling down the 4 foot end. And then when someone gets to the end and leaves, they're just considered a leader. That means they've raced off the edge, and then everybody else has to catch up. If they don't catch up, they're what's called a straggler. But once everybody is either a leader or a straggler, like once that's determined, basically once the round is over, the whole section of track is gone, and you move on to the next section, which has its own terrain rules, its own terrain placement, and more importantly, you don't have to move all that terrain 6 inches.
Right.
Which I really love that.
So here is one of the things I love particularly about the 4x2. You can fit 3 4x2s on a 4x6.
Yes.
So you can set up all 3 tracks 1 by 1 in a row, and then just go from one to the other as you go.
Yes, you can set them up ahead of time. If you really wanted to, if you have access to a 4x6 table, which many of us do because of ash wastes, you could, instead of doing the leaders and stragglers thing, you could choose to ignore that and just have people immediately vorp to the front of the next. Doing so will throw off the balance a little.
A little.
Whatever balance there is. Yeah. As far as when you move it, it's when half the players have gotten off the board.
Yes.
So when half or more of the players have left the finish line of the board, everyone else is a straggler. So, which is fine. You can only voluntarily leave on the finish line. You can't drive off the edge.
Yeah, voluntarily
is the key word there. If you do fall off the edge, you are just counted as a straggler.
Yeah.
Which is not too bad. So what does leaders and stragglers mean? Well, although when a new track is changed, anyone who's still stuck on the track is a straggler, and anyone who got off the edge is a leader. Stragglers are placed up against the edge. Leaders, basically,
they basically get 6 inches further placement for every round that they were a leader.
Yes. So if you get off the board 6 rounds before everybody else, you get to go. It's only up to 24 inches.
Yeah. So maximum 4.
But that's half the board.
That is half the board.
So you basically get to start up half the board. So you still maintain your lead, which I like a lot.
Yeah.
And
I'm afraid that half the board is probably too much.
Maybe,
but
we'll
see.
That is 4 rounds.
It is 4 rounds. That's
and
true.
if you got off the board 4 rounds ahead of everyone else,
yeah, true. You kind of deserve it.
You kind of deserve it.
Yeah.
What I also really love about this is how you do a racing game in a turn-based game.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, how would you do it? Like, well, I got off the board before you did because I rolled to go first.
Yeah.
No, if 2 people get off the board in the same round, they're going to be placed the same distance on the new board.
Right.
Which, again, it actually kind of works. And then stragglers, however, have to be placed up against the very edge. So, and if everybody gets off the board at the same time, like if everyone gets off the board in the same round,
then everybody starts on the edge.
Everyone starts on the edge, and it's all equal.
So the longer my vehicle, the better I have a chance.
Yes. No, it works out. For building the board itself, basically every time you generate a track section, you roll twice on the table below to generate its terrain and sides. So you either generate dense, light, or open terrain. If it's dense terrain, it's 3 pieces of terrain every 12-inch section. If it's medium, or if it's light, it's 2 pieces. If it's open, it's 1. No terrain within 6 inches. Okay, that's fine. You do have to have 12 inches, so it would be helpful to have a grid. You could race on Zone Mortalis tiles if you want to do that.
You could. Ooh, that's actually kind of cool.
That would actually be really cool. Yeah. This is to race on Zone Mortalis tiles.
Maybe you like start in the ash wastes and then it gets like super dense and then you go indoors.
Or it could do the other way around. Like, the ash waste, you pop out of the ash waste and then circle back in.
Cool.
Right. And then you also roll for the sides. You can have open, impassable, or cliff.
Note, cliff bad.
Yeah, if you drive off a cliff, you just get left behind, which means you lose.
Yeah.
If you are left behind, you are just dead, basically. Whereas if you drive off open sides, then you're a straggler. And if it's impassable, then you just hit the side and bounce off. You could, of course, instead of rolling for it, you could pick narratively, like, I'm in the underhive,
Yeah,
ergo all of my sides are impassable.
Sure.
Right? Or we're on an ash waste and we're playing on an elevated highway.
Yeah. Oh my god. Was it you that I played against?
Yes,
we
played on the elevated highway
insane.
map. And I kept knocking your car off the edge.
Yeah. Like round 1, my medium just went whee right off the side.
Tokyo Drift. And of course, it wouldn't be Necromunda if there were not special rules for the terrain.
And a chart.
And a chart where you roll 2d6. After generating the terrain of the sides, roll once for each section.
Yes.
Do you want to take the first one?
I will take the first one. It is if you roll double ones, you get flooded. Movement characteristic for all tracked and wheeled vehicles is reduced by 2. Wheeled and tracked vehicles cannot be subject to the blaze condition and lose the blaze condition if they already had it. So you're partially sunk underwater.
Man, that's a good time to have a hovercraft unless you get lit on fire.
Yes.
Pitch black is visibility 3-inch rules is in effect.
Yep. So pitch black.
Remember, you can put headlights on your vehicle.
That's true.
To change this. And this is probably the one time where that would really help.
That's true.
Now, there's no way to make pitch black affect your driving.
No.
So that only affects
so
shooting.
Cool though.
Yeah, the only way you could do that is if you like put black construction paper over everything so that people couldn't see the terrain until you pulled it up and then there's a terrain piece right there.
There was a scenario, a rolling road scenario, where there was like you didn't place terrain until it was like in the pitch black range.
You could do that.
Yeah. And then just like,
yeah.
Yeah. Next up is one of the ones we mentioned earlier, which is ventilation processor. It's a giant fan. When this track section is set up, randomly determined in one of the long battlefield edges in the end phase of each round, all racers are moved 1 inch directly towards the edge, unless they are skimmers, in which case they are moved 3 inches. Note this can move racers off the track. I think you should take some damage for going... No, because you're going away from the giant fan.
Right. Well, I mean, if you get moved into the wall, you'll take damage.
Oh, that's true. Because
you will take damage as if the hit judged off the the strength and all that stuff based on how far you moved, just as if you'd rammed it.
Yeah.
Now it's not going to be a lot of damage because it's only going to be either 1 inch or 3 inches.
Sure.
But yeah, you'll take damage as you get blown into the wall over and over and over again,
or into somebody else.
Can you just like skim the wall so it doesn't like just
that you should take some kind of penalty for.
Paint damage.
Yeah.
Falling debris. If a racer comes into contact with a piece of terrain, more on that later, after working out the effects of the normal collision, roll a d6. On a 5 or 6, every player places a 5-inch blast marker anywhere on the battlefield and then scatters it 2d6. Any racers under that marker then suffer a strength 8, AP 0, D3 hit. As rocks fall, everyone dies.
That's really funny. Strength 8 is crazy, but I know we're starting at
your custom medium is toughness 5.
Yeah. So it's a 3 to wound in general, but
that's saying light vehicles can get wrecked.
Yeah.
Just 2 splunk.
Yep. Next up is Gunk Slick. When this track, that was the name of my band in college, by the way.
Oh, that's just what they called me in high school.
That's what they called it, Gunk Slick.
Yeah, you don't want to learn about it. It's a bad day in gym class, man.
When this track section is set up, each player in an order determined by rolling off places a Gunk Slick marker anywhere on the battlefield at least 12 inches from the short edge and 9 inches from an already deployed Gunk Slick marker. If a racer comes in within 6 inches of one of these markers, it must make a loss of control test.
Yes. So that is a great opportunity for some fun terrain kit bashing, by the way.
Yes, definitely.
Don't use a marker. Make a Gunk Slick.
Yeah.
Make it irregularly sized. Who cares?
Sure.
Like
it is, and it's within 6 inches of it, so that's like massive.
That's a 12-inch bow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's a really big Gunk Slick.
Yeah.
Underhive Gloom. Visibility D6 times 6 inches. Roll to determine the value of the visibility rule. During the priority phase of each round. Kind of boring, but
changes.
Yep.
Each round. I'm glad I got this one.
Me too.
Rats!
And it does have an exclamation point. So it's
with an
not rats,
exclamation
it's rats!
Yep. Each time a racer ends its activation on this track section, place a rat counter next to them. Rat counters have the following cumulative effects. 1 to 2 rat counters. The racer suffers -1 modifier to all shooting attacks. 3 to 4 rat counters. The racer must re-roll successful handling checks. 5+ rat counters. When a racer activates, it suffers D6, strength 3, AP nothing, damage 1 hits. All rat counters are lost when the vehicle leaves the track section.
So basically, and there's no way to get rid of the rats.
Other than leaving, yeah.
Which, personally, I think if you get the blaze condition, it should reset your rat counter.
Oh, that would be good. I think you shouldn't lose the rat counters if you leave the track section.
No, you get it once you get out of the rat zone. I think what the implication is that you're just like it's just a carpet of rats that you're just driving over, and some of them are getting on your vehicle, and then they fall off. But you're gathering more rats. But once you get out of the rat zone, the rats will bail, right?
Sure. Eventually, you should go down.
For bonus points, if you roll this one, put a bunch of Skaven on the field.
Yes,
they don't do anything.
They're fun to hit though.
fun homebrew rule. Put a bunch of Skaven on the field. If you hit one, you get an additional rat counter.
That'd be good.
As it climbs on your vehicle.
But that's bad.
Yeah, but no,
yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's why you do it. And if you run into the brood horror, you just die.
Oh yeah.
And the Hellpit Abomination just gives you 20 rat counters. Toxic Sludge. At the end of the activation, if a racer has moved less than 6 inches during their activation, they suffer a Strength 3 AP 0 D1 hit as if from a weapon with the Blaze trait.
This is interesting considering there's something it says later that you have to move. You have to move and you have to move as far as you can.
Yes.
Not as well. It says
we'll get to that.
The maximum amount that
you do have to move, but it is possible, especially with a not a ridge roller, but a medium vehicle has a base 6-inch movement. Mm-hmm. If you put treads on there,
that's true.
It would go down to 5.
I guess if you go through rough terrain, it would be less than 6 inches. So yeah, I guess that matters. Next up is mines. When this track section is set up, each player, in order determined by rolling off, places a mine marker anywhere on the battlefield at least 12 inches from a short edge. So basically, it's like the 6-inch center in the middle.
Yes.
Short edge.
Yeah.
If a racer comes into contact with one of these markers, they immediately explode. Count it as a demolition charge centered on the racer.
Which is strength 8?
I think it's
AP 3, damage 2?
I think so.
Or is it strength 6? Either way, big hit.
Big boom. Then remove the marker. If the vehicle is still able, they can then complete their activation.
If you can,
I like
keep
that.
going. Yeah, that one's great. I mean, it's not a hidden marker.
That's true.
So you have to hit it.
Yeah, you have to basically dodge them.
Right, but you could put it in between pieces of terrain, or
so you have to hit the terrain or it kind of thing.
And you do get to do this after everything else is set off.
Yeah.
So you could or people could work together to if every player, you got 4 people, you put 4 mines in a row.
Yeah. Oh God.
Auto turrets. If a racer ends its activation within 6 inches of a long battlefield edge, it just gets hit with a D6 strength 4 AP 1 D1 hit. So basically a heavy stubber hit.
Yeah. And lastly, Inferno. Not of the disco variety.
No.
The track is on fire! ! At the end of each racer's activation, roll a d6. On a 5 or a 6, it catches fire and becomes subject to the blaze condition. This condition persists until the vehicle leaves this track section.
When apparently the auto extinguishers kick in.
Yeah, I guess.
Or something like that. So these are all delightful.
Yeah.
None of these seem like a giant pain in the butt to play with. They all seem really fun.
Yeah, that's true. It's not like Ash Waste where you just have a 1 in 3 chance to die.
Yeah, it's not all vehicles on the battlefield surface become subject to the insane condition.
Oh my God.
So then that brings us to actually playing the game.
Yeah.
So basically it's all the same vehicle rules, but there is some additional rules. You set up the first track section, everyone places their battlefield on the short battlefield edge. If you have lowest credit value,
you roll for priority. If you have the lowest credit value, you get +1. So if you're someone's 5 down and someone's 10 down, 5 down doesn't get anything.
You then all roll for priority, and the person with the lowest credit value adds +1 to the roll.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's fine. So and then you get to the actual rules to make this a race. Vehicles cannot stop and must always be on the move.
Mm-hmm.
So you have these rules. Racers must always use at least 1 action to move, and must always move the maximum distance allowed when performing that action.
Yes.
So that is worth noting, because you can perform 2 move actions.
Mm-hmm.
Only one of them has to be full distance.
Yes.
You could move and shoot,
mm-hmm.
but you would have to move the full distance if that is your one.
Right,
I
that's
moved.
true.
But you could also move and then move and shoot.
Mm-hmm.
You could move and shoot and then move. Or you could just double move.
Mm-hmm.
What you cannot do is take aim and then shoot.
Right.
That is not a thing you can do in this mode because you have to move.
Yep.
And then, because
you could take aim and then move and shoot.
Yeah, I guess.
But then you're only moving 3 inches.
You're only moving half your.
No.
You're only half your distance, which is not very much.
Vehicles cannot become broken or stationary. If they would be subject to either of these, they lose a whole point instead.
Yep. So if a vehicle breaks or becomes stationary as a result of a loss of control test or running into a wall,
yep.
You just lose a whole point.
Mm-hmm.
Any terrain that is not counted as difficult counts as flimsy. Any terrain.
So basically, if it slows you down, or you could run it over. Those are the only two options.
So you are burning through buildings in this one. If you're putting up, because remember what flimsy is basically you destroy the building.
Yep.
Once the race ends at the start of a round, if at the start of a round, there are no racers on the current track section, the winner will be the racer that moved off the finish line first. If the race is part of an underhand racing campaign, you might have additional rewards. The race finishes before the final track section is completed. Each racer that has not been taken out of action is considered to have completed the race. So this is the one where winning priority can actually matter.
Yes, that is true.
Because it's basically at the start of a round, there's no racers on the current race track section. The race ends. Which is a little weirdly a little weirdly because these tracks do have a minimum number of track sections.
Yes. If
everyone leaves the first track section at the same time, that doesn't mean the game ends.
Yeah, that is true.
It's worded a little weirdly.
Race ends if it at the start of a round, there are no racers on the current track section. No, yeah, that's true because it would be. I guess it depends on when they leave.
Right.
Because if you, basically, if the last half leave simultaneously, it could technically rules as written in the game early, which is stupid.
Which is weird. Yeah. You would basically
don't do that.
I mean, you're going to get to the finish line, or you're not.
Yeah. This is for the finish line.
What they're saying is that the race ends. At the start of a round, if there are no racers, if everyone dies, the race ends.
You keep going.
And that's it. That's basically the game. Now they do give you some rules for setting up a campaign. They give you rules for setting up a racing campaign. It's quite straightforward.
Yeah.
Everyone, makes their own roster. Same thing as always. You always need to note down which damage you get. Players should then determine the tracks that will be raced in the campaign. As a general rule, should there be at least 3 races to give everyone a chance to improve or recover. Rewards. So, and this is quite interesting because this is the most experience you've ever seen awarded at once.
Yep.
If you take part, and this is all for campaign, if you take part in a race, you get 25 credits and D6 experience. Not 1 experience, D6. Okay.
And that's just for being there.
First place gets 100 credits and 10 experience. Second place gets 35 credits and 7 experience. Third place gets 50 credits and 5 experience. If you complete the race, you just get D6 times 10 credits and 3 experience. And every racer you take out of action, you get 50 credits and 5 experience.
That I think is cool.
Right.
So that makes me want to do a super wacky races where it's light vehicles, but everybody gets 3 of them.
Yes. That is something you could do.
Yeah.
And man, the people are going to die if it's light vehicles.
That's why you get an amount.
Right. During the downtime, players may freely spend experience and credits to change their crew or racers or repair their racers as detailed in the normal book. Which remember, repairing your jury-rigged racers or your racers, even if they're not jury-rigged, is expensive.
It is.
But you don't have to make any post-battle actions. You don't have to roll for anything.
Yeah. You still get your trading post up to rarity 10, black market up to legality 10.
Yep.
Just without rolling, just.
Yep. In large, it says in longer campaigns you might allow change your racers in between. You just roll a new racer, etc.
I'm a sponsorship, and here are my racers.
Yes. So then you also get to if you race with vehicles that can't race, because for example, unreliable, which is if you roll a 1, then you don't get to play the vehicle.
Yeah.
In that cases, basically, if you have something that would normally prevent it from racing, you can still choose to race it.
You just take extra damage,
but it has the wrecked condition.
Yeah. And
if you have the wrecked condition at the start of the race, you immediately roll in the lasting damage table and apply the results, but re-roll results of unreliable.
Right.
If a vehicle with the wrecked condition is wrecked again, you just die. It's gone, and you can't fix it.
Get a new one.
Right. You have to destroy, noted, not just a new car. You have to re-roll a new vehicle and a new crew.
Oh,
implying that they died.
That implies that they're dead.
Right. The wrecked condition remains until you use the negotiate repairs, which means that you have to pay.
Basically, this means get it fixed ASAP.
Right. You can choose to race with something that you shouldn't be racing with, but if it dies, you just die.
Yes. It basically, this is instead of, because in a normal campaign, it would just be you can't participate in the next battle or whatever, or battles until you fix it. That's just so that if it's a racing campaign and that's all you do, you can still play.
Now, it does also say that you could insert a racing game into a normal campaign.
Yes.
We would mostly follow the same rules, I think. And that's it.
I think it would be really cool to like have everybody set their differences aside and go like, okay, but we're gonna go to the under high 500, right?
Yeah, but we're gonna try and kill each other during the under high 500.
Yeah,
that's just part of the under high 500.
It's not against the rules, so it's allowed.
Right. I mean, yeah, it's allowed. Yeah. Suffice to say, I think we've all been waiting for something like this for a long time.
This is really cool, and honestly, I think they did better than I expected.
Yes, they did not half-ass this.
No,
that is that surprises me, and it is a pleasant surprise because I was expecting them to just go, yeah, just set up an ash rolling roads, whatever. Look, half
you're
the hour
racing
is
now
in half an hour. Like we got to go. No, they made different rules that works better as a race. We'll see how well it actually works out.
Yes, we will.
I thank goodness they did the vehicle classes.
Yeah. God, light versus ridge hauler.
Just
that would be awful.
Hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby.
Exactly.
But there's lots of ways to spice this up.
Yes.
Like as an arbitrator, have fun. You could, as an arbitrator, have like one rig that just tries to kill everybody.
Yeah, it's the arbitrator.
yeah. It's literally called it's RB Trader.
RB Trader.
Yeah, that's it. That's RB Trader.
Yeah,
is this his initials? It's one guy. It's like the race leader who's just trying to make sure no one finishes the race.
Oh.
Which it calls
he has
out
to pay out.
Like it calls out. There's one dramatis personae, or some guy who's been mentioned in lore.
Oh, really?
Previously. One of the
is it Van Zepp?
Yes, Van
okay.
Zepp.
Just first name I saw.
Who's been mentioned before. He's a guy who runs he runs Bartertown. Who, like as even says, Van Zepp has this habit of like rigging the track to explode so no one wins.
Nice.
That'd
be so cool.
So he doesn't have to pay them.
Yeah. Again, like I don't gotta pay you the 100 credits if you don't finish.
Right. Yeah. So
yeah.
So much like I'm thinking about like racing through like the plant zombie infested zones.
Yeah.
Of like, and it's the rat rules, but they're plant zombies. Racing through Zone Mortalis, where it's like instead of terrain pieces, it's those columns.
Oh yeah.
That you set up, and you have to like weave and dodge through those columns, which is really cool as a as a medium vehicle. Maybe less cool as a rig.
Oh yeah. Just
that train is not flimsy.
That'd be really funny.
Yeah, I am so excited to do this. We're going to be playing this hopefully very, very soon.
Yeah,
hopefully, actually next week.
I agree.
At time of recording, which when you're watching this probably be like now.
Yeah.
I've got a meeting vehicle set up ready to paint. I'm going to be painting that. I'll be painting it on stream on YouTube and hopefully Twitch here soon.
Which you'll see the stream before you see this video.
Yes, but maybe not because there'll be streams afterwards.
That's true. You could check out our VOD.
If you want to see us yak while we paint vehicles. But yeah, I'm so excited. This is finally going to get me paint vehicle. I have a feeling what's going to happen is for me and us, this might like replace Ash Wastes.
You think so?
Because this looks a lot more fun than playing a lot of Ash Waste missions.
I don't think it'll replace it. I think it's going to be a cool one-off thing to do every once in a while. I think I want to do the campaign. Like,
yes,
close.
I want to do a racing campaign.
Yeah.
I am currently advocating that our next Necromunda campaign is a racing one.
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. I didn't say we were doing it. I said I'm advocating for it. Now, I do have one question. On the very last page, there's a hint of something we've never seen, which is this word here, Citadel miniatures. I'm only familiar with Warhammer miniatures.
Yeah,
I don't know what this Citadel thing
I've never heard of that. And
like, apparently it used to be Citadel paints, but they're Warhammer paints now. And
yeah, they're Warhammer paints.
Forge World?
No,
never heard of Forge World.
That's pronounced Forgy.
Forgy World?
Forgy World.
Is that like mechanical corgis? Yeah, I'm just being a jerk. Sorry. Stop doing stupid things, Game of War Cup. Anyway. I get it. It's brand recognition, whatever.
Yeah.
The Forge World miniatures thing doesn't make sense to me, considering that they've abandoned that for several years now.
Yeah, true.
Who knows? Anyway, that's it from us today. Let us know below if you're as excited as we are for Necromunda Racers, because I'm just thinking, like, this is Lego Racers meets Necromunda.
See, I'm doing Mario Kart, where it's like everybody gets their like power up, and just like
you need to have one guy holding a shell.
Yeah,
like a green shell. Like, or it's a demolition charge painted like a green shell.
I am. We have plans.
Yes,
plans.
We have plans, and you will see them.
Yes.
So check us out our stuff below. We have our Discord that you're welcome to join. It is free. We stream on Thursdays and Sundays at 7 p.m. and 1 p.m.
Post your cool wacky racers in our Discord. That's your challenge.
Eastern Standard Time. Yep. Yeah. Join the Discord. Post below, and we will see you with more Racers content pretty soon.
Ooh. Bye.